Well, I think ideally there should be universal regulation, but a couple of factors make that very difficult. The first is that it's somewhat challenging to try to define exactly what a stem cell therapy is. Different locales may have different definitions of what counts as a stem cell therapy. We want to leave a little bit of freedom for jurisdictions to make that definition on their own terms. The second factor is that different jurisdictions have different capacities for enforcement. So a universal regulatory system would require a systematic, universal way of enforcing the rules. And so both the problems of definition and the problems of actual capacity for enforcement make it challenging to live up to that ideal. I think in a very broad sense, yes, but there needs to be flexibility for those factors that I just mentioned. The very broad sense needs to be that it has to be evidence-based, scientifically well-grounded, and there has to be measures for patient safety and follow-up and monitoring. Those would be what I would call just the most basic, general, uniform standards. Well, I think I want to challenge the notion that there really is freedom of choice in the idealized sense that people would want at this point, because to have freedom of choice, one needs really very good information and transparency of that information. And currently that's really not forthcoming with many of these stem cell clinics that are operating. They will not disclose to third parties or even to patients who are interested exactly what they're doing, exactly what the cells are that they're using. So without that level of transparency and full information, it's difficult for people to actually make a fully free and informed choice. That's one. Number two, I think a lot of patients aren't merely exercising the right to autonomy in a rational sense, but they really are pursuing their heartfelt hopes, which tend to be more emotive and not necessarily 100% rational. So freedom of choice, I think, is a little bit of a simplistic way to look at it. For one reason, as I just said, the information is not actually all that available and truthful. And secondly, I don't think patients in these circumstances are always acting fully rationally, but are acting on their emotional hopes. There ought to be some space for innovative stem cell therapies under the kinds of guidance that the International Society for Stem Cell Research has put forth, which is there is room for responsible medical innovation as long as there is a little bit of oversight from disinterested parties about the scientific rationale for going forward, and again with close patient monitoring and follow-up.